to what their parents had
Right.
created
Right.
because their parents are sitting in debt.
Well, this is a matter of survival. But I just want to also quickly mention about first. Thank you for your generosity. I
Hey,
mean,
let's look. I want to give you carrots.
it's so wonderful.
Watch the water on your phone.
Okay, thank you. So as the fact of the matter that you have this capacity and you're willing to show students and things like that, it's just phenomenal. Again, I'm very excited about the fact that you might be interested in teaching others. Shall we follow you or just wait here?
You can stay there.
Okay.
This is carrots right from the ground.
No way! Oh wow wow! No way!
Give him a little rinse here.
Oh wow! Oh, this is too precious. Oh, Jack.
Carrot
Well,
are currently leaf edible.
They are, but not so much.
Oh, okay.
They're not so delicious, but
this is
edible,
great. This
somewhat
is
like parsley.
this is great. This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, well, we get one. Thank you.
Oh, amazing! Thank you so much. This is amazing.
More if you want. Yeah.
Just smell it first. Just smell it and see. It's amazing. Mmm. Mmm.
All right.
Mmm. Thank you. Thank you.
So, give you an idea here. You know, we just picked maybe a third of a pound of carrot. This bed will give me 250 pounds of carrot.
Just this bed alone. This is
Just the
actually
bed.
250 pounds of carrot.
And with the tops so fresh this time of year, you won't find another carrot in this area. So the economics of this carrot are without competition. So now this is where our community relation comes in. Is that
We actually
the
won.
link
Thank you.
is that
Thank
there's
you.
money involved, but the money is not the best. That's not the value. The value is the accessibility and the protection. So it's
And
hard.
sustaining the community. Because if we're able to get this in all communities, if we're able ever, then we have a sustainable system. Which
Right.
brings us why this is sustainable agriculture.
Well, and we could say that, you know, maybe it's ambitious to say that the world's going to change in this way. The point of it is that it's not that difficult to do, and if the community has the energy to empower themselves to produce the food on their own, they can. It doesn't mean that everyone will, and that every community has the ability to do that.
And I'm going to ask you a straightforward question now because we've come to the point that I was trying to drive at before. Is that you are open, or promise that you will be open to help communities like ours coming from Africa to learn more about this kind of agriculture
This
system.
is why we're here. Certainly, this is you know, we are a nonprofit organization, and we're here as an education tool. So this is the other part of the value, that diversity. When I was talking about ecological diversity being an important tool. Um, Diversity for economics is usually the least. Diversity for environmental is next, ecological diversity. And then actually, we are a little more excessive than that because we are creating more diversity for the sake of the social value. So we have a lot more things happening here than one place might do on their own just to have an eco-economic model. Is that the part of this is that we want to show multiple facets and connections between education facility, restaurants, school groups, the farms themselves interacting interdepartmentally, with animals, vegetables, compost operations, fruit, and that all these areas kind of work together with each other. It doesn't mean that every farm should look exactly like this. It's that there should be components of all those things, and that no one works alone. Self-sufficiency is not what it is. It's communal sufficiency.
Which is
And
we're
that's what we
trying
need to remember, that we're all professionals and we all want to share with each other what we're trying to get out. Instead of the farmer becoming a subservient, and always having been told. And so in the long run, their ethic is lost for the sake of an economic model that is, bigger.
You're wonderful, sir.
Yeah, wow.
You're wonderful.
I think
This is why I left the market and came to the non-profit sector, and it reminds me more that this is where it all comes down. This is what it comes down to. This is where it all ties in together. That how do you sustain the community? Before politics, before anything else, people need to be fed. Before you ask for your rights, people need to be fed. And it's important to understand the philosophy behind the farming process and what the duty of the farmer or expectation from a farmer is. That people really understand the importance of the farmer. And that the farming issue is, as you mentioned, is not a subservient role. Rather, it is deep-rooted, compassionate, essential community service.
To some extent, yeah. I mean, if you look at the kind of profit
You gotta depend on the
they are
farmer for
making
your
in
health.
relation to industry.
Oh,
For instance,
Well, but
virtually
I'm not gonna go
common
there to the industries. The industries are, we can't touch them.
but that's and in that kind of relationship,
We need to get this, especially in communities that I am planning to serve. Areas where people need to learn so much about what it takes to actually get products out of the soil and what the process is, and being able to maintain the crops and the climatic conditions and things like that. Being able to be creative and changing the mindsets of farmers who've been used to a method of farming for over 100 years, and that method of farming might not be efficient. And I need to be able to convince them to say, as a matter of fact, this is perhaps a better approach, and these are the proofs for that.
right, isn't there a quality of life included in this whole thing as opposed to just producing? So, yeah, I wonder how that, I think about that a lot. We had an interesting forum a while back with some plant breeders that came here to speak about the empowerment of farmers saving their own seeds, and also the way that the system works, advanced genetics
Thank you.
and the use of modification and all these
Yeah.
things. For good or bad, the use and patenting and some of the issues and regulations there are very restrictive. And the idea of the golden rice had come up.
What is that?
Which is the genetic rice that has beta carotene inserted, basically, so that the rice now can produce vitamin A. Generally, it's not doing that.
How
this is
how
advanced
acceptable is
genetics.
that? How acceptable is that?
Well, the difficulty with it,
The pros and cons, if you will.
the pros are in a place like Central Africa, where there may be communities, large communities, where no one's getting enough vitamin A, and that really a lot of the medical issues are nutritional issues. So if people could increase their nutrition, it can really make a significant difference for all the health issues that are happening. So on the benevolent side of it, giving someone a grain that can also, which rice is not necessarily, this is replacing things like millet and these things that may have existed in these places. You're giving them a new grain. So it's good in ways that, hypothetically, because here's this product that could essentially be the only thing they eat and they live. Right, so, but that's for the leanest group. But it doesn't necessarily empower those groups above them. It may help to stabilize the most impoverished. So there's a function for it. But in general, it's not a wholesale fix. It's just a bandage for this group. So a lot of people oppose to it because they say, well, people should eat a balanced diet. People should be eating more greens and all these different things. But we're talking about, I mean, it's not unlike here. We're talking about generations. If you lose a generation that doesn't know how to maintain the land, regardless of what our ancestors had done to maintain the health of our people, that if you just miss one generation, then it's done. And we need to find a way to regain that no matter where we're from. So this is this is a really big thing. This is what we're trying to recognize, is that, you know, in this country we've missed because we've industrialized, which has been for good, but we've also lost all our empowerment to know how to do it ourselves. And that same thing's happening there. So this is another one of those things. It's a catch. There's a catch to it. Well, here's a product that you'd be all fine about, but you won't be able to grow it yourself. You'll have to get it from somewhere else.